I'm Lauren Green, and you're in the strategy room. The federal agents targeting the most dangerous criminal immigrants arrested 15 people who have been allowed to remain in the U.S. under President Obama's executive action intended to protect children who came to America years ago with their parents. Well, critics are saying this shows holes in the White House's policy. Joining us to discuss are political strategists Intartaglia and David Mercer. Welcome to you both.
Good to be with you.
Thanks for having us.
All right, David, I'm going to start with you on this because is this a blow to the White House?
I don't think so. I think that the core of the program that you mentioned is for those that were brought here by their parents who are seeking an education. They're doing what all of us are doing, which is to make a better living for our families. And, you know, I think that overall is working. Now, just because you have a few bad apples among a group does not mean that you get rid of the whole program. Just as much as, you know, we just saw recently with the Oklahoma University with the SAE fraternity. Just because you have a few bad apples in that fraternity doesn't mean you get rid of the fraternity system of the university, but you do sanction that fraternity that's responsible for that environment that created those remarks. So I would say that it's fine, and it shows that ICE works in getting those that should not be here that because of criminal records, and they'll be dealt with accordingly.
Ashley, what is your take? Is this a blow to the White House?
Well, look, no matter where you stand on immigration, it's a very divisive topic to try to have a discussion with anyone on. But I think we can all agree that if you're here illegally, especially if you're here illegally and you qualify for this program, if you do anything wrong, if you do anything illegal and you commit a crime, you should be out of here, like, now. And I don't know that this is necessarily a blow to the program, but it does leave many to question, what crime do you actually have to commit to be removed from this country under this new program? And in this case, even from one of the articles that I saw this morning, there was one of the immigrants arrested out of the 15 had actually been convicted on a drug charge and still had his deferment reinstated. So I don't know that it's necessarily a blow to the whole program, but it does raise questions on the criteria being used to determine who stays and who goes.
Yeah, there's some issues here, but this program is called the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals. They've got 675,000 young immigrants since the program started. So this program was supposedly for the best and the brightest. So how could loopholes like this be prevented, David?
Well, I think to speak to that point and Ashley's, you know, we have a prison system, and we know that the prison system isn't perfect. In fact, there have been several people that have been convicted and then later exonerated out of DNA evidence and so forth to show their innocence. So, you know, who's to pay for, or do we blame the prison system for their being locked up, unnecessarily? And, you know, you have to deal with those situations that are exceptions to the overall program or rule. And it says in this instance, you got to tighten up the screening processes. You have to have the vigilance in the enforcement, as Ashley had alluded to. And we've seen that with ICE capturing these 5, one of whom was convicted on a drug charge.
All right, and Ashley, so what is next for immigration reform? And will the Republicans use this as a stepping tool to really kind of dismantle it?
Well, I think, look, at this point we're stuck with this DACA immigration executive order that the president handed down, and if we're going to deal with it and work with it, it has to be enforced properly. And, you know, the individuals who are arrested by ICE in this operation, they fall into what the Department of Homeland Security considers the top priority for people to be arrested and deported out of the country. And within that top priority are immigrants associated with terrorist activities, gang activities, felonies. These are not traffic misdemeanors. These are the worst of the worst. So there should be no doubt that if you're associated with this type of activity or you've committed a crime in any of those categories, we're not going to stick you in a state jail and waste more taxpayer money on you. You're going to get deported.
Yeah,
and we have to be strict.
David, let me give you the last word on this.
I would agree in principle with what Ashley just said, but I would add to put maybe a little the burden on the Republicans, and that is there is an immigration bill that's nearly 2 years old, and while Republicans in the House sit on their hands and just stare at that bill and want to complain about immigration rather than bucking up and putting forth the bill so we can have solutions to address these issues, is what I would advise be done so that we can have a system that works so that you don't have the kind of problems that we're addressing today.
All right, I want to thank you both, Ashley and David. If you want to check out foxnews.com for the latest on immigration, on the immigration debate, I'm Lauren Green, and thanks for watching.